Hi, hello. Today we're going to be talking about the 7-star Flying Terra Salamence and how to beat it. We're going to just start off talking about Salamence, and then I'm going to give you 5, 6-ish, maybe 7-ish Pokemon that you can build for Salamence that should handle whatever it throws at us. So Salamence, Salamence has two pretty good abilities, and we don't know which one it's going to go with because they used to do, I shouldn't say they used to, almost every single 7-star has been hidden ability, but some 7-star Pokemon, like the 7-star Dragonite, did not have its hidden ability. And so, or neither did Tyranitar, the 7-star Tyranitar. Both of these abilities are annoying, but Moxie is much, much more annoying than Intimidate. Now, none of the Pokemon I have built are physical attackers. So if it does have Intimidate, it doesn't matter at all. If it does have Moxie, that can be annoying, just like the 7-star Quackle Ball, whereas if one of your teammates faints, then Salamence will get an attack boost. Speaking of attack boost, Salamence is a mixed attacker. If you've seen this used in tournaments, it can sometimes be special, it can sometimes be physical, it can sometimes be both. It just depends, but it does have a really good attack stat of 135, which with Moxie, every time a Pokemon faints, that attack stat goes up. And then it has a really good special attack of 110. Since it will be pure flying, it's only going to be weak to ice, electric, and rock, but it will still get its dragon type stab as well as flying with Terra boost and then flying with stab boost. Now it does get 4 flying type moves that we have to worry about, and those are going to be on the special side, they're going to be Air Slash and Hurricane, and on the physical side, they're going to be Aerial Ace and Dual Wing Beat. So when I calculated all the damage here, I've calculated all 4 of those moves. On the special side, we're worried about Air Slash, Hurricane, Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, and Hydro Pump. It does get like weaker versions of these moves, like it gets Flamethrower, but we're just calculating Fire Blast. Again, if we can survive Fire Blast, that means we can survive Flamethrower. On the physical side, we have Crunch, Psychic Fangs, Outrage, Thunderfang, Brick Break, Tempered Flare, Stone Edge, Iron Head, Earthquake, and Shadow Claw. Again, just making sure we can survive all these. If we can survive these, we can survive weaker versions of these typings. And then on the status type, we have to worry about Focus Energy. Once again, which was the annoying part about Tyranitar. And we've also seen Samurai use this as well. Dragon Dance, which again annoying. We saw that on Tyranitar, and I could imagine Tailwind and Rain Dance. The reason I think Tailwind might be possible here is because they are going with the flying theme, and we haven't seen a 7-star raid boss use Tailwind yet, so that could be likely. Salamence already outspeeds a lot. I think with a combination of Tailwind and or Dragon Dance plus Air Slash, it would make I almost said Tyranitar. It will make Salamence outspeed pretty much everything, and then with Air Slash, it will have a 30% chance to flinch us, which is really, really annoying. If Salamence can consistently go first, and if Salamence can use Air Slash over and over, there's just a 30% chance we can't take our turn when we try to do so. So that's why I do think they might go with like a Tailwind / Dragon Dance theme to make Salamence faster to flinch us over and over. Now, on the Hurricane side, Hurricane can also be annoying because it has a 20% chance. I think it's 20%. Is it 20 or is it 30? 30% chance. Wow, a lot of 30%. Is a 30% chance to confuse us. And Hurricane goes from 70% accuracy to never being able to miss in the rain. It ignores accuracy altogether. That means if we try to Mud Slap to reduce the accuracy, it will just ignore it. It's not 100% accuracy. It will never miss accuracy. So that's why I could see Rain Dance being here with Hurricane. That's the only real status move it can do to us is Confusion. So we can avoid Confusion with Misty Terrain. That will also reduce the dragon damage that we would get from Salamence. And we can also use a move like Safeguard to avoid being confused. It's possible that it doesn't have these 2 moves at all and instead have Aerial Ace and Dual Wing Beat. Aerial Ace also ignores accuracy and evasion. So again, with Mud Slap not really being useful here. These special moves are way worse and way more annoying than these physical moves. And that's why I'm going with the prediction that this is probably going to be a mixed attacker if they want this to be a challenge. Special move I see is Draco Meteor. It's possible that there's a timed Draco Meteor where maybe they don't lean into these moves, which would actually be a blessing, and they just do like a Draco Meteor like mid raid, and it'll get -2, but it doesn't matter because it's going to mostly rely on its physical moveset here. So there's a couple things that we'll go over as we do this. Focus Energy, we can't get rid of that once it happens. Again, if you've just done the Tyranitar raid, you know how annoying Focus Energy can be. Specifically, Tyranitar used Focus Energy Stone Edge, so that means always crit. I don't think we'll see that twice in a row, though, to be fair. That would be kind of uneventful if we saw that twice in a row, especially since we haven't seen Tailwind, and Rain Dance Hurricane probably actually seems like the more annoying set to run with. Okay, I have 5 Pokemon here already built. We'll go through them one by one. Our first Pokemon is going to be Zapdos with the Electric Terra. All these Pokemon will be Electric Terra. Zapdos will be holding the Shell Bell. The ability will be static. Pressure doesn't actually work in raids. The raid boss has unlimited PP, so pressure is just completely useless. At least with static, if it does hit you with something, there's a chance to paralyze it, which is better than nothing. But the moveset here is going to be Thunderbolt, Metal Sound, and Light Screen. Light Screen, of course, in case it is a mixed attacker. If it doesn't have any special moves, which would be a little weird, you don't need Light Screen at all. Metal Sound will lower the special defense of Salamence by 2. All of our attackers are special attackers, so that would benefit the entire team. Now, if Salamence is running a Rain Dance set for Hurricane, we could remove Rain with Sun, although it might have a Fire type move, so that might be bad. We could remove Rain altogether, or we could use the Rain for our advantage. If Salamence is going to do Rain Dance Hurricane, we can swap out Thunderbolt for Thunder, and now our Thunder will be 100% accurate, and will do more damage. Thunder's 110 power, where Thunderbolt is 90. So I have Thunderbolt here, just in case, but if it is going to set its own rain, we can take advantage of that with our electric attackers, and we can switch Thunderbolt to Thunder instead to do more damage and to increase the chance of paralysis and to get more health back with Shell Bell. If Salamence doesn't have Hurricane and doesn't set its own rain, I would swap out Eerie Impulse for Rain Dance, and then I would swap out Thunderbolt for Thunder. So not only do you get 100% accuracy Thunder, which is stronger, but any other teammate running Thunder will also get 100% accuracy Thunder. But Eerie Impulse will reduce the special attack by 2. Again, this is if we see Hydro Pumps or Fire Blasts or Draco Meteors or anything on the special side. There's a couple other moves you could possibly swap out here. Rain Dance Thunder might be the 2 you ultimately swap out instead. How I would play Zapdos is I would probably open up with a Light Screen if no one else can Light Screen. I would probably maybe Eerie Impulse once, maybe Metal Sound, and then start building Terra. Worry about Metal Sound once Shield breaks, because it's probably going to reset its stats once Shields go up anyways, so you might not be able to get a lot of use out of Metal Sound prior. On the EV side, we're going to do 252 HP, 20 defense, 232 special attack, and 4 speed. Both Zapdos and Salamence are 100 base speed, so just by putting 4 into speed, you will outspeed it, assuming it doesn't Tailwind, and you will continue to outspeed it until it uses Dragon Dance. So it does give you an advantage for a couple rounds of the match, and it's only 4 investment, so it's not that big of a deal. The 20 defense just helps when you're behind a Reflect. When one of your teammates can set Reflect, it turns a lot of 4-hit KO moves into 5-hit KO moves just by having that 20 in defense. And then, of course, a lot of these we want to do 252 HP because we are expecting it to be a mixed attacker. Speaking of a Pokemon that can Reflect, we have Bellibolt here, Electric type Terra. I'm sure a lot of you guys have used Bellibolt in past raids. It's one of the best raid Pokemon here. We'll just go through the moveset. It has one of the best of all time Electric type moves, which is Parabolic Charge. There's no reason not to run Parabolic Charge. And then we have Acid Spray, and then we have Chilling Water, and we have Reflect. So just like how Zapdos can control the special attack with Eerie Impulse and Light Screen, Bellibolt can control the physical attack with Chilling Water and Reflect. So these two should pair really well together. Plus, anytime you Acid Spray, that means Zapdos will be able to do more damage. You're already slow as Bellibolt, And with its ability, Electromorphosis, when you take damage, you will do more damage. Ultimately, how I would play Belly Bolt is I would either Reflect or Chilling Water to open, and then I would work on Acid Spray to build Terra, and then I would use Parabolic Charge to get health back. If you were to Acid Spray once and then Parabolic Charge, you should go back to full health, assuming that it's not behind its Raid Shield. When it is behind its Raid Shield, you might have to Acid Spray twice and then Terrastalize and Parabolic Charge, and then you should be back to full health. The item we're actually using here is Magnet. And the reason we're using Magnet is because it makes our Parabolic Charge do 20% more, which means we're going to do more damage and we're going to get more health back. But also, because we are going second consistently because of how slow Belly Bolt is and because of our ability, we're going to be doing even more damage. So I don't feel the need to run Shell Bell here because we don't need to get more HP back. We're going to be doing so much damage by going second and by having Magnet that our HP will fill up completely anyways. And that even stacks more with Acid Spray. So obviously Acid Spray will allow us to do more damage. Here's the one thing I will say about Belly Bolt. Earthquake can ruin Belly Bolt, especially because we do not have the speed advantage and there's not a lot of EVs that we can do here or anything fancy until a Reflect goes up. Ultimately, you're going to get two-shot by Earthquake if it has it. So, listen to me carefully here. If you're a Belly Bolt player and somebody next to you can set Reflect, they're going to set Reflect hopefully on turn 1. That's the best time to set it. Just wait until they Reflect. Instead of taking, as soon as they Reflect and then you hit your move, you're going to be taking about 30% damage instead of 50% damage. And if it has Earthquake, wait for your teammate to Reflect, and then you open up with Chilling Water. That turns one Reflect and one Chilling Water turns an Earthquake from a 2-hit KO to a 5-hit KO. And you are good for a couple turns, obviously, because Reflect should last 5 to 8 turns, depending on if there's Light Clay or not. Belly Bolt can fold very quickly without that support. With support, Belly Bolt's going to be very good here, but just pay attention to who has Reflect. Now, you can set your own Reflect, but you're going to be playing catch-up with healing if that's the case. And maybe that is the case in if you don't have reliable teammates. You might set Reflect, die, come in, and then you're going to be a lot bulkier. But we don't want to die in case it has Moxie. So just keep that in mind for Belly Bolt players. We're going to do 252 HP, 24 defense, 232 special attack. I'm sure some people are going to crank the defense of Belly Bolt. You're still not surviving those Earthquakes as well as you think. But the 24 defense will push you over and make one Reflect and one Chilling Water be a 5-hit KO instead of a 4-hit KO. That's why the 24 defense is there, is to push into a 5-hit KO territory. Once you are set up, though, once a Reflect is up and you Chilling Water and you Acid Spray, you're going to be getting full health no matter what. So even if Reflect wears off and you're taking 50% damage, you're going to get that all back by using Parabolic Charge every turn. But if we are seeing Dragon Dances, we're going to have to Chilling Water that Dragon Dance back down. So Belly Bolt can't do everything here. It's very hard for Belly Bolt to set Reflect and Chilling Water and Acid Spray and try to keep its health up. So it really is relying on other teams. If you have 4 Belly Bolts, one could Reflect, the other 2 could Chilling Water, the other one could Acid Spray, and then once that Reflected is up, there can be a heal cheer. I think 4 Belly Bolts can work together as long as everyone knows as long as everyone's playing a specific role, which makes Belly Bolt really good for just team play in general. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm making sure you're paying attention. Let's go back to Zapdos. An alternative to Zapdos, I'm just making sure you're paying attention, would be Thundurus. Thundurus has the same typing as Zapdos of being electric flying. The difference between Zapdos and Thundurus, there's not a lot, but there's 2 differences. One is Zapdos is a little bit more bulky. Thundurus can do a little bit more damage. And the second one is Thundurus gets Taunt. So if you are worried about Tailwinds or Dragon Dances, Thundurus does get Taunt, Zapdos does not. And I don't remember if I said this for Zapdos, but keep in mind, when you Electric Terra, you will lose Flying, which means you're going to be weak to Earthquake. So I wouldn't Terra Electric until you are completely ready to do a lot of damage and to get your health back, especially if you're going to start eating Earthquakes. So Maybe don't Electric Terra unless there's a Reflect up. Maybe don't Electric Terra until after, Dragon Dances are cleared. Keep that in mind when you Electric Terra, because you will start getting hit by Earthquake. Before we talk about the next 3 Pokemon, just make sure you're liked, subscribed, comment what Pokemon your grandma plans to use for this raid. It would be much appreciated. Speaking of Pokemon that cannot get hit by Earthquake, that would be Rotom with Shell Bell. Rotom just has the ability to Levitate, so you can't get hurt by Earthquake. Unless the one turn where the raid boss shuts off your ability, then you could get hit by Earthquake. You can't get hurt by Earthquake. So when you go pure Electric, you are still immune to Earthquake, which is very nice. We're going to do... Where are my EVs? They're somewhere here. 252 HP, 40 defense, 176 special attack, and then 40 in special defense. Modest nature. Thunderbolt, Nasty Plot, Will-O-Wisp, and Light Screen. You could remove Will-O-Wisp for Reflect, but I think we have a lot of Reflect here. So the nice thing about Will-O-Wisp is if Will-O-Wisp will reduce the damage of the physical attack on top of stacking with Reflect. If you get crit goes through Light Screen and Reflect, whereas Will-O-Wisp will reduce the damage still. I know that there was frustration last week with Tyranitar. People forgot that crit goes through Light Screen and Reflect, and I didn't say that with Grimmsnarl, but I've said it multiple times in multiple videos, so I guess I will explain it here because people forgot. Critical hits ignore Light Screen and Reflect, and that's why last week we had multiple Pokemon that had a chance to burn, because I thought that I didn't have to say that every time I brought up Light Screen and Reflect, so I'm bringing it up now. Critical hits go through Light Screen and Reflect. Critical hits also ignore stat changes. So if you use Iron Defense 3 times, a critical hit will ignore those defense changes on your end. I think that's why so many people struggled with Tyranitar. We use Light Screen and Reflect a lot. I don't know if I want to say that every single time we bring up Light Screen and Reflect. That's why while people were using Grimmsnarl last week, it wasn't working. I thought that was just common knowledge because I've said it. I've made 2 of these videos a month for 2 years, and I've definitely said multiple times, but just your reminder, no big deal, don't sweat it. Critical hit ignores light screens and reflects and ignores stat changes. That's why critical hits are so good. Will-O-Wisp, it does not ignore. So if you burn a Pokemon and it critical hits you, it will not do as much damage. So that's why Will-O-Wisp is here. You can put Reflect here if you want, but like I said, we have a lot of Pokemon already using Reflect. Unlike the first 2 Pokemon we've talked about, Rotom can increase its special attack with Nasty Plot. I wouldn't Nasty Plot until stats are cleared. I would probably either open up with Light Screen or Reflect. Sorry, I would open up with a Will-O-Wisp or a Light Screen. Maybe do the other one. Thunderbolt till Terra. Wait till stats reset. Nasty Plot 2 or 3 times, and then Thunderbolt. You'll get your health back with Shell Bell. And this pairs really, really good with Acid Spray. But Rotom's a neat little guy. He's a little washing machine. You resist a lot here with being... If for whatever reason Salamence has Hydro Pump, you resist that too. So electric resist flying. That's why there's a bunch of electric here. Our next Pokemon is going to be Archaludon, which is also weak to Earthquake, but there's a twist here. So we got Shell Bell to get health back, electric type Terra. We're going to have Stamina as its ability. That means every time you get hit by an Earthquake, your defense will go up. Unless you get critical hit, which critical hit ignores those defense changes. Ideally, if you get hit by a dual wing beat, because that move is going to hit you twice, your defense is going to go up twice. So ideally, after about 3 stamina increases, you should be pretty indestructible unless you get critical hit, because critical hit ignores that. So we have multiple ways to control Salamence. We can use Breaking Swipe to control its physical attack. That means if it Dragon Dances, we Breaking Swipe to bring that back down. If it has special moves like Draco Meteor or like Hurricane, we can control that with Snarl, and then we still don't want to eat an Earthquake. I believe we survived 3 Earthquakes with no stamina. So once we hit a Reflect, now we survive 5. Once we get a +1 with stamina, we survive 6. When we get a +2 with stamina behind a Reflect, we survive 8 Earthquakes. So you can see how this will stack. If Salamence does do Rain Dance Hurricane, Rain Dance will boost our Electroshock, which gets stronger, or not gets stronger, but it skips the 2-turn state of Electroshock. if we don't need Snarl, or if somebody else is taking care of the special attack like Zapdos, we can set our own rain. But again, that's that we won't know for sure unless we don't really want to give it 100% accuracy Hurricane. But if it doesn't have a Hurricane at all, then yes, we should probably set our own rain. I would just build Terra with either Breaking Swipe or Snarl, set a Reflect to protect those Belly Bolts, protect yourself, protect the whole team, and then big damage with Electroshock. Our EVs for our Chaladon is going to be 252 HP, 60 defense, 156 special attack, and 40 special defense. And just like the other Pokemon, this pairs really well with Belly Bolt's Acid Spray, so you'll be able to do more damage. And then our final Pokemon is going to be Bronzong with the Light Clay. Now, this is the Pokemon that should be Light Screening and Reflecting, so the other Pokemon don't have to, but assuming not everyone has a Bronzong on their team. This is pure support. 4 Bronzongs are not going to win this. And there's a lot of different moves Bronzong can learn here, so just don't look at this and build this specifically. You really will have to look at the final moveset for Salamence. But I think a given is going to be Light Screen and Reflect, obviously, with Light Clay to make those moves last longer. And we're going to do, for EVs, we're going to do 252 HP, 140 defense, 76 special attack, and 40 special defense with the bold nature. You can either run Terra Blast or Power Gem. They're both going to do super effective, but when you Electric type Terra, you'll do more damage than Power Gem, and you will still be immune to Earthquake because you have the Levitate ability. And Safeguard is here in case of Hurricane to prevent you from getting confused. So maybe you could have Rain safely. You're going to prevent confusion with Safeguard, and then all your other Pokemon can Thunder instead. You can also skill swap here. So you can see that skill swap's not on this, not here, but you can give it skill swap to remove Moxie. Although you are getting rid of Levitate, which is a bit of a bummer. But you could remove Moxie, which is a threat. And then if you die, you'll come back with Levitate, so that's not that big of a deal. But if it has Intimidate, I don't think that's a big deal. I guess you could skill swap and take its Intimidate, and you can Intimidate it back. But we have Breaking Swipe, we have Chilling Water. I don't think that's much needed. But Moxie is more annoying and more threatening than Intimidate. You can also give Bronzong Trick Room. So if I do expect a Dragon Dance / Tailwind flinching Salamence, which would be very annoying, you could remove Safeguard for Trick Room, and now, because Salamence will be so fast, Salamence is already fast, but because it will be so fast with Dragon Dance, or it will be so fast with Tailwind, we will go first instead because we're the slower Pokemon. So now we don't have to worry about getting flinched. The only bad thing about that is Belly Bolt doesn't work as good when it's faster. It works very good when it's slow. But if the option is not to get consistently flinched, Trick Room might be better. Bronzong can also learn Rain Dance to help the team set Thunder if needed. Bronzong can also learn Metal Sound to help these other Pokemon do more damage. Bronzong is not going to do a lot of damage here, unfortunately. So you probably don't even need a Terra until it's the very end. But I feel like if you're doing Trick Room, Safeguard, Light Screen, Reflect, you're going to run out of things to do. I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think ultimately this is one of these is good. It's just which 4 moves do you really want? It can learn a lot of moves. That's why I think Bronzong's very, very good here. It's just which 4 moves will make you not feel bored. Because you're going to do a lot of support and then just kind of wait until heal your team, which is very helpful. That's very good. Keeping your team alive, especially if it has Moxie, is very, very good. But I do feel like Bronzong might be a little bit boring. But in a good way. Bronzong's boring to play, but also the Pokemon that make sure the raid is successful. If we do see Focus Energy on Salamence, keep in mind that a lot of Light Screen and Reflects aren't going to matter, like I said. There is still plenty of support here with Chilling Water, Breaking Swipe, Will-O-Wisp, Acid Spray. I don't imagine we're going to see not 2 weeks in a row, but raids back-to-back be Focus Energy critical hits. Salamence doesn't get that many critical hits compared to Tyranitar anyways. So we resist all the flying. We have really good synergy with each other. We don't have to worry about Intimidate. Thundurus is ultimately Zapdos if you want to go the Thundurus route. You do get Taunt going that route. But specifically, if you've listened to this video specifically with Bronzong, just look at the moveset when it comes out. I'll post them. I always post the what the raid boss will have and make a couple adjustments with Bronzong. I think stat-wise, the EVs, it will survive pretty much everything. Just this has the most customizable of what the final moveset will actually be. So those are the builds. Hope you like them. If you need help, join the Discord, come to the Twitch. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.